The desert wind howled like a banshee, carrying with it the ancient whispers of a terror so profound it had etched itself into the very soul of Iran. It was a night like any other in the sprawling metropolis of Tehran, yet an undercurrent of unease rippled through the city. The kind of unease that made the hair on the back of your neck stand on end, a chilling premonition of something sinister lurking just beyond the veil of normalcy. I was sitting in my dimly lit apartment, the only sound the rhythmic ticking of the clock, a stark contrast to the maelstrom raging outside. A book lay open on my lap, but my mind was far from the printed words. It was drawn to the stories, the ancient legends that had been passed down through generations, tales of mythical creatures and supernatural horrors. And tonight, the story of the Huma was the one that held me captive. The Huma, according to legend, is a celestial bird of unparalleled beauty and power. Its feathers are said to glow with an ethereal light, and its song is a melody that can soothe even the wildest heart. But beneath this facade of beauty lies a darkness, a malevolence that has haunted Iran for centuries. The origin of the Huma's evil is as chilling as it is ancient. It is said that the creature was once a mortal woman of extraordinary beauty. Her name was Zahra, and she lived in a small village nestled amidst the Zagros mountains. Zahra was loved by all, her kindness and compassion unmatched. But her beauty was a curse as much as a blessing. A powerful sorcerer, consumed by lust and envy, set his eyes on Zahra. He offered her eternal youth and beauty in exchange for her soul. Desperate to preserve her beauty, Zahra accepted the offer, unaware of the terrible price she would pay. The moment the sorcerer claimed her soul, Zahra was transformed. Her skin turned ashen, her eyes hollow and black. Her once melodious laughter turned into a haunting shriek that echoed through the mountains. She had become the Huma, a creature of nightmare, a harbinger of death and despair. Legend has it that the Huma feeds on the fear of humans. It lures its victims with its ethereal beauty, drawing them into a false sense of security before striking with a swift and deadly precision. Its victims are said to disappear without a trace, their souls claimed by the creature as nourishment. As I delved deeper into the legend, the hairs on my arms stood on end. I felt a cold dread creeping into my heart, a fear that was both irrational and undeniable. The wind outside seemed to intensify, its howling growing louder and more menacing. Suddenly, a sharp rap echoed through the apartment. My heart pounded in my chest as I cautiously approached the door. Peering through the peephole, I saw nothing but darkness. Yet, I could have sworn I heard a whisper, a soft, seductive voice that sent shivers down my spine. With trembling hands, I unlocked the door and cautiously opened it. The hallway was empty, the only sound the relentless howling of the wind. But as I stepped out, a chill wind swept through the apartment, carrying with it a faint, sweet perfume. That was when I saw it. A shimmering figure, bathed in an ethereal light, stood at the end of the hallway. Its beauty was otherworldly, its eyes twin pools of darkness. It was the Huma. Terror consumed me as the creature took a step forward. Its eyes locked onto mine, and I felt a cold emptiness spreading through my body. I tried to scream, but no sound came out. My legs felt like jelly as I stumbled backward, my back hitting the wall. The Huma's laughter, a chilling melody that seemed to echo from the depths of hell, filled the apartment. As it approached, I could feel its cold breath on my skin. I closed my eyes, preparing for the inevitable. Then silence. When I opened my eyes, the Huma was gone. The apartment was bathed in the cold light of dawn. The wind had died down, and a sense of calm washed over me. But the memory of what I had seen would haunt me forever. I have no idea if what I experienced was real or a figment of my imagination. But one thing is certain. The legend of the Huma is more than just a story. It is a warning, a reminder of the darkness that lurks in the shadows, waiting to claim its victims. And as I sit here, writing this, I can't shake the feeling that I am being watched. The wind has picked up again, and I can hear a faint whisper, a seductive melody that is both alluring and terrifying. The Huma is out there, and it is hungry. This is just the beginning of the story. The Huma's haunting can continue with new characters, new victims, and deeper exploration of the creature's mythology and its impact on contemporary life. Days turned into weeks, and the encounter with the Huma became a haunting specter in my mind. I tried to convince myself it was a hallucination, a fever dream conjured by a mind worn thin by isolation and the weight of ancient lore. But the memory of those ethereal eyes, the chilling caress of its otherworldly beauty, was etched into my consciousness. A collective unease began to permeate the city. People started disappearing, vanishing without a trace, leaving behind only a lingering scent of jasmine, a signature of the Huma's presence. The police were baffled, the media sensationalized, and the city was gripped by fear. I watched as the city transformed into a ghost town, its vibrant spirit replaced by a pall of dread. People huddled indoors, their windows boarded up, their hearts filled with terror. The once bustling streets were now deserted, echoing with the mournful wail of the wind. I knew I couldn't remain a passive observer. The Huma was a predator, and I had become an unwilling witness. Driven by a strange compulsion, I began to delve deeper into the ancient texts, searching for any clue that might help me understand the creature and perhaps defeat it. In the dusty pages of an old manuscript, I found a chilling account of a ritual designed to banish evil spirits. It was a perilous undertaking, requiring a deep understanding of ancient Persian magic and a courage that bordered on recklessness. The ritual was said to be a double-edged sword, capable of both banishing and summoning the target. With a heavy heart, I decided to give it a try. I spent days preparing the ritual chamber, filling it with sacred symbols and artifacts. As the night of the ritual approached, a sense of foreboding washed over me. I knew what I was about to do was madness, but I also knew it was my only hope. As the clock struck midnight, I began the ritual. The air crackled with energy, and the room filled with a strange ethereal light. I chanted the ancient incantations, my voice echoing in the silent night. And then I felt it. A presence, cold and malevolent, was entering the room. The Huma appeared before me, its beauty even more breathtaking, yet terrifying, in the dim light of the ritual chamber. Its eyes, twin pools of darkness, seemed to pierce my soul. I felt a surge of fear, but I held my ground, my mind focused on the ritual. As I reached the climax of the incantation, a blinding light enveloped the room. When my vision cleared, the Huma was gone. A sense of peace washed over me, a feeling of accomplishment that was quickly replaced by dread, for I knew that the Huma was not defeated. It had merely retreated, biding its time. The city began to recover from its ordeal. People emerged from their hiding places, and life slowly returned to normal. But I knew the calm was an illusion. The Huma was still out there, watching, waiting, and I knew that our paths would cross again. I became a recluse, spending my days studying ancient texts and practicing the ritual. I prepared myself for the inevitable confrontation, the final battle between good and evil. I knew it would be a fight for my life, and perhaps for the soul of the city. As the days turned into weeks, a growing sense of despair began to creep into my heart. I was alone in this battle, a lone warrior against an ancient evil, and as the shadows lengthened, I began to wonder if I was truly making a difference, or if I was merely delaying the inevitable. Then one night, as I sat alone in my apartment, I heard a familiar sound, a whisper carried on the wind. It was the Huma's song, a haunting melody that sent shivers down my spine, and I knew that the final chapter of this terrifying saga was about to begin. The night the Huma returned was a night of howling wind and eerie silence. The city was cloaked in an unnatural darkness, a precursor to the terror that was about to unfold. I sat in my ritual chamber, heart pounding like a war drum, my mind a maelstrom of fear and determination. Then I heard it, a whisper, a caress on the wind. It was the Huma's song, a siren's call that drew me inexorably towards the abyss. I knew what awaited me, yet I found myself drawn to it, like a moth to a flame. Stepping out into the night, I felt a cold dread seep into my bones. The wind whipped around me, carrying with it the scent of jasmine, a harbinger of doom. And then I saw it. The Huma stood at the end of the street, bathed in an ethereal glow that seemed to illuminate the darkness. Its beauty was a cruel mockery, a siren song that promised oblivion. Yet I was no longer afraid. I had faced death countless times in my mind, and now, as it stood before me, I felt a strange sense of calm. With a deep breath, I stepped forward, my heart pounding in my chest. The Huma's eyes met mine, and for a moment, it seemed as if time stood still. Then, with a swiftness that defied human comprehension, it attacked. The battle that ensued was a blur of motion and sound. The Huma's attacks were swift and deadly, but I was prepared. I countered its blows with the knowledge I had gleaned from ancient texts, my movements guided by a force that seemed to come from beyond myself. We fought for what felt like hours, our clash echoing through the silent city. The wind howled in accompaniment, as if cheering on the cosmic battle that was unfolding. With each passing moment, I felt my strength waning, my body aching with every blow. But I refused to give up. The fate of the city rested on my shoulders, and I would not fail. With a final surge of adrenaline, I unleashed the full power of the ritual. A blinding light erupted from my hands, engulfing both me and the Huma. When the light faded, the Huma was gone. The city was silent, the wind still. A sense of peace washed over me, a profound sense of accomplishment. I had done it. I had defeated the Huma. But as I stood there, basking in the afterglow of victory, I realized something. The Huma was not just a creature of myth and legend. It was a manifestation of fear, a dark reflection of the human soul. And as long as fear existed, there was a possibility that it could return. I had defeated the Huma, but I had not conquered fear. That battle was still to come, a battle that would be fought within the hearts and minds of humanity. And so, I resolved to dedicate my life to spreading awareness, to teaching people how to confront their fears and overcome them. The story of the Huma is a cautionary tale, a reminder of the darkness that lurks within us all. It is a story of hope and resilience, a testament to the human spirit. And it is a story that will continue to be told, a warning to future generations to remain vigilant, to never let fear consume them. For in the end, it is not the monsters that truly frighten us, but the darkness that resides within our own hearts.